handwritten thank you cards. That's just my style. Find your own style because you are your brand. You are you are your business. But for me, I just have thank you cards that I buy at Target, and I write in there thanking my new client for starting their journey and for being an inspiration to others. Because even if they don't think they are yet, they are. Just by making the first step towards help, they've already started to inspire people around them. I throw a couple business cards in there, maybe a referral, a tear-off referral sheet. Both of those, the business cards and the referral pads, you can get through your office in motion. So if you don't have those, I highly recommend getting those. And yeah, I just send out little quick handwritten cards. So that's my style. And then teaching your clients to refer on Facebook. Everybody touched on this already. Again, you need to teach your clients what to say. Don't just say, hey, will you put something on Facebook and tag me in it? Don't do that unless it's somebody you really know has it together. So just an example, sometimes I even type it out and send it in. If you've talked to them on the phone and they're open to maybe doing a Facebook post, I say, great, would you be okay if I sent you like a possible status that you could use? And most of the time they're gonna say, oh, sure, awesome. You've done the work for them. That way you can do the posturing and help them. So I'm so excited to have my energy back. I feel awesome and back in my favorite jeans. I never thought I'd fit in again. Thank you to my great health coach, Jessica. I couldn't remember if I did you or your coach. Okay. So we just threw in my name. I'm not taking credit for you. My great coach, Jessica, have them hyperlink your name. For guiding me on this journey, Jessica coaches people from all across the country. So if you want me to connect you with her, let me know. That's an example of a good. It's upbeat. It's exciting. It's not too much. You don't talk about MetaFast. You could maybe say take shape for life, but very simple. Connects you back to that person.
So did you say you actually send them that little text and then say just kind of tweak it with your name?
Yeah. I usually say. Yeah. This is a great example. You can switch up some of the wording to make it sound like you, because you want them to be authentic. You don't want them to just copy and paste. But yes, I give them sometimes one or two, but at least one good example. And then other ways to connect with referrals. We already covered this, CCing you on an email, private messaging on Facebook. If instead of just doing the email, the person can private message you and their friend on Facebook message. So that's another way of doing it. And then forwarding your newsletter. Everybody covered all this stuff because you guys are awesome. Really, this goes back to being a good health coach. You're always working together, building that relationship, building the trust, and your clients are going to see that you do care about them, and they're going to trust to send their friends and family to you. Aim to stay. Brad already covered this, so I'm not going to go into this too much more, but this is action. These are action steps. This is a major action to grow your business. So it's a great place to put some focus on if maybe you haven't had a lot of focus on it. And the actions are those referral letters, the thank you cards, Facebook, making good posts on there about, I can coach people from all over the country, reminding people of that, client support groups, news feed, newsletters, community partners, be a good referrer.
That's something that we definitely talked about too, is Jessica and I were talking about, well, where do your referrals come? Where do mine come from? You know what? Everybody that I go to, the person who does my hair, the gal that does my lashes, every single person, I refer people to them because I value their businesses, I value them as people, individuals, they're my friends, and so I refer to them, and of course they refer to me because we have that reciprocal respect and trust, and it's something that comes up, as someone's doing my lashes, I talk about what I do, and she's a client, and so, it's just natural, but definitely be a good referrer, be loyal to the people in your life, brand yourself well, be on purpose, and don't be afraid to let those people know that you're referring to that you also love referrals. And you can do, if they're not a client, there's other things you can do. You could do like gift cards, you could give them a free Discover Your Optimal Health book, something like that. So there's lots of things that you can do to people who maybe aren't clients yet, who aren't coaching yet. And so I call those community partners. And then if you do one action step today, it's on the piece of paper you have. Think of the 5 or 6 people, the clients, who's on your heart, who's referring people, who's having success, who do you know has people in their lives around them, which is everybody. But write them down, write their names down, and put a little A and circle it on your piece of paper today so that you go back and you look at that, and that's an action item. That's something that you can actually do. What is your plan this next week to layer with them, to chat with them, how are you going to kind of open that window of referrals? Who are you going to send referral letters out to or something? Like actually take some action steps home and have some ideas of who you're going to reach out to this next week. Oh, sure. And so basically, when the referrals do start coming in, because they will, keeping track of them is really important. And thankfully, we have this amazing file folder system. We have a pre-client folder, and I like the pre-client folder to be nice and thick, like always 50, 60, 70 people in that folder that I'm going through, and I have a set follow-up day every week. I'm reaching out to people in there that maybe I haven't, because you know, people say yes on the 5th through 12th time of touching back with them. Now that doesn't mean that I call them 5 to 12 weeks in a row, right? Not crazy woman, but it's, I'll send them a little note on Facebook, a little message. Hey, I hope you're doing great. I have a few people who I just sent a message to last evening as we were doing our, and I said, you know what? I hope you're doing well. I just wanted to let you know you really do make the world a brighter place. Like, okay, I'm a little sappy, but that's me, and you know what? I got messages back instantly. Thank you. I needed to hear that today. That's a touch. That's someone that you're still in their life. You're still in front of them. They know that you care because you just randomly reached out and gave them a kind word. Okay, so 5 to 12 follow-ups. Put their information on a piece of paper, get it in that file folder system so it's out of your head, onto the paper, and they're not going to slip through the cracks. Because you know, when you're a coach for a while, we all know there's people that have slipped through the cracks, and there's nothing that hurts worse than thinking of someone that you forgot about. Okay, so keeping that in there. Click to the next slide, and really having that set system of follow-up. When's your follow-up day? How do you systematically work through so that you're touching back with those people? And then, you know, in closing, we've really talked a lot about this, but do you guys, you know, have any thoughts or questions? Really, we just want to say, be professional, be consistent, have a system and have a strategy to do it, and reach out to your mentor. Really, if you have questions on how to, you know, go forward with it, or if you want a sample referral letter, there's lots out there. Reach out to whoever your health coach is. They can get you an example of a referral letter to send out, examples of business cards and things like that. And more than anything, be creative. You guys, we own this. You own this. This is you. You own your own practice, right? Infuse your own personality into it. Be you. Be real. Be who you are. Don't try to be a cookie cutter of someone else just because they happen to be successful. Find whatever it is that resonates with you and put your own flair on it, because that's what's really going to get people's attention.
Absolutely. Yeah. Don't send out a handwritten thank you card if that is so not your wheelhouse. If you were to be like,
or if no one would
that yeah. So I mean, we probably have time for like 1 or 2 questions. Yep.
So I seem to be getting quite a few people that are on program, and I'm trying to do layering in the beginning like you guys are talking about, but they're like, no, I'm not sharing it with anyone, I'm not telling anybody, I'm actually taking the flour out of the wrapper so no one knows. How do you kind of handle that?
I just keep loving on them. There's always those people that are going to be like, no, I don't want to tell. But you know, when they get that first non-skill victory, or they lose 25 pounds, and they say, okay, are people noticing? You know, what are you saying to them? You know, what are you saying? And sometimes just giving them that verbiage of, you know, you don't have to tell them anything to say, I'm getting healthy, I'm working with a health coach. That's all they have to say.
I would say on that, they probably still have diet mentality, and so they're embarrassed about the diet that they're on. Right. So really layering that they are, this is, they're getting healthy, and I think what you just said, you know, guess what? You don't have to tell them what it is that you're doing. You're just telling, you know, give them one phrase that says, I'm getting healthy and I feel great. I'm working with a coach and she's awesome and I feel great. Boom, done. You know, but like they probably still have a little bit of that diet mentality, which is why they're embarrassed by it.
Right. Keep loving on them.
Yeah, keep loving on them and meet them where they're at.
Well, I just had something to say that I have a current client who she's lost 30 pounds now, and she was a client of mine like 3 years ago when I first started, and I didn't know how to coach. She didn't do very well at all. She didn't want me to tell anybody, not even our close friends, like about 15 people, that she was doing this, because like she said she was embarrassed that she was doing this, and she didn't do very well. She didn't like the plan. She quit, and she started again. She came back like a couple years later and said, okay, I'm going to try it again, and now she's doing really well. The social better at it. She forced her to do it right, and just started out right, and she's improved.
Great, that's great, she's at a better spot.
Yeah, maybe one last one.
You had mentioned on the free clients that you get back with them consistently, but you don't want to be the crazy lady. So can you kind of share what that pacing looks like? Like how often is often enough, but not too often?
Yeah, and it just depends on your previous relationship with them. So I like to give it, you know, in the beginning, I'll reach out to them. So this is one thing that's important. When you have a referral or someone reaches out to you, getting back to them as soon as possible. So like within minutes or hours. I do that, right? So I send an email, if I have a phone call or phone number, I call them. And then if it's been a few days and I haven't reached or haven't heard anything back, I might send them a different form of communication, like a Facebook message or a text or something, just like, hey, I sent you some information a couple days ago. I just wanted to make sure you have it. I know life's busy, but when you have a minute, I'd love to chat. I can't wait to hear about it. And then I let it sit for a week or two, and then I'll follow back up, and then it kind of gets longer and longer a little bit, you know, but usually once a month. I make sure that they're in my newsletter, so they're getting that healthy tip, that recipe, and a little nugget from me every month. And then, as I think about it, really, as they come to mind, as maybe I'm on Facebook and I'm looking at their page and I see an awesome picture of their kids and they're out at the park or whatever, I comment on it, I like it, I'm like, such a sweet girl. That's it.
Would you say that's your weekly celebration email that you send out, or your monthly newsletters? Or what is it you're talking about that you make sure that she's on?
I have a newsletter that currently we're doing a Mad Meeting. I do it like every 2 weeks. And I put everybody in there, everybody who's been a client, everybody who is a client, every pre-client who says they'd like to continue to get updates. They get my Mad Meeting, which is, you know, and Take Shape has one too. It's called Healthy Habits Newsletter, and I use that. That's once a month. So right now people are getting a couple from me. So on the week that I do the Healthy Habits newsletter, I don't send a Mad Meeting, but then there's 2 other weeks in the month that I send a Mad Meeting that just a little nudge, a little, you know, and especially around holiday time. So I use the holidays, and especially right now when we're gearing up to summer, I will go through and I will make sure I have touched every single person that I possibly can. So summer is a few months away, and people are thinking about, you know, this is an amazing time of year. What they did try in January didn't work, and summer's fast approaching. So, yeah, of course, you guys. Well, I think we're out of time.